All right. Hey. Thank you everybody for joining me. We're going to get started right now with homeownership pre-planning and much, much more. I want to thank everybody that's here in the Zoom, and I'm about to bring on those people who are a part of the social media as well. So we'll be bringing on Facebook and YouTube as we get started. And I want to appreciate you guys for always being here, being ready to start, even before I'm ready to start. You're ready to start. All right, so let's rock and roll. You already know I'm Jacqueline Battle. I'm with National Lane Realty. And the whole purpose of us getting together is so that we can talk more about the opportunities that are available to purchase real estate, whether you want to purchase a home or whether you want to purchase land. Also, the opportunities that are available to sell your land or your home, opportunities that are available in terms of investment. We're here for all of that. That's the reasoning behind why we are here. So without further ado, we're going to bring on our Facebook group, and we are going to go live on Facebook and get this party started. So last week, we were talking about the homeownership pre-planning course that we had. And of course, it's a free course. And every Sunday at 4:30 Central Time, we come on the air and we talk to people about the opportunities that are available to purchase real estate for investment purposes, if that's what they want, or to purchase real estate for the sake of purchasing a home that they want to live in again, or if they want to purchase land for investment purposes. So far, we've talked about flipping land. We talked about the benefits of flipping land. We talked about the variation between the two in our previous programs. We talked about ways that we can eliminate limitations that underwriting guidelines sometimes impose on income and on credit. And we isolated ways that we could benefit by incorporating, if that's what you want to do. And we showed you ways that you can purchase real estate as a corporation. We also teach from this book, Homeownership, Pre-Planning, and much, much more. So we've got a lot of information that comes from this book in terms of pre-qualifying, but also in terms of understanding how to calculate your monthly payment, how to understand the amount of interest that you're going to be paying on a monthly basis versus your annual percentage rate, how to prepay your interest, because mortgage interest is paid in the arrears, but we teach you how to prepay, how to calculate it, and how to prepay it, which will reduce the amount of your monthly payment that's going towards interest and increase the amount that's being applied towards the principal. We also talk about non-qualifying mortgage lenders. Now, we're not talking about predatory lenders with higher interest rates. And we're not talking about hard money lenders with a shorter term. We're talking about non-qualifying mortgage lenders that have more flexible underwriting guidelines for people with alternative income or for people who may be business owners. So we talk about a variation of ways that you can purchase real estate, and then so we give you pre-purchase information in this book, but we also give you post-purchase maintenance. Yeah. So one of the pre-purchase tips is a lot of people are like, I want to purchase real estate, but I don't know how to put together the money to be able to purchase the property. Well, we talk about down payment assistance programs, and we also talk about some grants that are available that will help you pay on your closing costs or towards your closing costs. And we also talk about compound interest accounts and how you can determine how to deposit a certain amount initially and how to determine the amount of gain that you'll receive based on the interest rate. There are formulas in the book that help you calculate those things. Now, we don't talk about those things in this particular presentation because there are limitations in terms of what you can teach in regards to certain things as interest and things like that. So we teach those in the Easy Corporate Comprehensive Curriculum for New Business Owners. This is a private course that we teach. You can join us by group or you can join us individually. There is a fee that you pay for this course. Now, if you want the homeownership pre-planning course, I set up consultations with people virtually so that we can get together virtually. I can go through your information and then set up a plan for you to be able to purchase. We use the what we're going to talk about tonight, the SWOT analysis, and we help you come up with SMART goals that are measurable and actionable so that you have a time frame on them. And I walk with you every step of the way, right on into your home. So let's get started. All right, again, I want to thank those who are with me in the Zoom. And we are going to take a look at a piece of property that I think will be just really beneficial to you if you are interested in purchasing real estate. So let's see how I can share this with you guys. I'm going to open it up so that you can see it. This is a piece of property that's located in Columbus, Georgia, Muskogee, Alabama. Can you guys see this on the screen? Okay, so this property is very strategically located on a corner in Columbus, Georgia. It's there in Benning Park, and it's right there on the corner of Benning Drive and Yeoman Street. It's an acre of land in a neighborhood that is beginning to be redefined. I wouldn't necessarily call it gentrification, but it's an opportunity in this neighborhood if you're a developer or if you're an individual that has always wanted to get into real estate development, but you could never find a deal good enough or financially feasible so that you could purchase land and be able to build a few houses on it. Well, this particular land is 1 acre of land, but it's actually subdivided into 6 different parcels. Yeah, 6 different parcels. So if you purchase this land, and I want to say to you, the parcels that are in this area are selling for $40,000 to $45,000 each. This is 6 parcels. Okay, 6. Yeah, and what I mean by 6 parcels is 1 parcel of land. It's an acre, but it's subdivided into 6 different lots. The city has it subdivided into 6 different lots. So if you wanted to build, it's already been zoned residential. And there's 6 different lots that are already subdivided by the city in this parcel of land. If you purchase it, you could build your own home on it, as well as other properties that you can then sell or you can decide to rent. And then you can move on to start purchasing other properties that are in the area. And as you purchase those properties, you can modify them. You can remodel them. You can bring them up to a certain standard and begin to sell them, quite possibly for a substantial profit. Because you'll be able to get them at a very decent price and possibly be able to sell them at a very substantial price. So I wanted to show you this property. It's in Muskogee County, Georgia, Columbus, Georgia. It's a parcel that has 6 different lots on it. If you're just starting in development, this would be a good piece of land for you to purchase. You could start by building your own house on this property, and then you could branch out to building other part of properties or homes. Yeah, yeah, you can do this. You can do this. Or you can purchase it for your own home and just have a big old huge lot there. But you'll see that it's financially feasible to purchase and then divide into those 6 lots that the city has already subdivided for you. That's already been prepared. They've already subdivided. It's already been subdivided on the city's grid. Take a look at it. It's been split up into 6 different lots so that you could actually, if you wanted to, purchase this property and then you could divide. So I'm hoping that that was beneficial to you. I'm going to show it to you again before we conclude. If you're interested in that property, reach out to me, or you can reach out to Travis Chaffin of National Land Realty. Either one of us can help you in purchasing that property. All right, so I'm going to move on from there. All right. So I don't know how many of you have read this week's inspiration, but I posted it. It says homeownership isn't just a goal. It's a promise to yourself that I can achieve stability. Okay. So when we were looking at that particular piece of property, the reason why I felt that it was ideal is because a lot of you are saying to me, I've been wanting to get into real estate investment. Well, that is a perfect piece of property that will involve you into real estate development. Why? Because it's already been subdivided into 6 different lots. And it's in an area, I don't want to use the term gentrification, but it's in an area that's being redefined so that you can maximize in the value of the property. So let's get on with this week's module. Last week, we talked about how to determine whether or not you are a renter or whether or not it's the optimal time for you to purchase. We also talked about how to determine how to determine your funds for closing. Talked about that. Talked about how to overcome certain income and credit limitations. Those were things that we talked about last week and the weeks prior to now. And this course is divided into 7 different modules to guide you through homeownership. So this week, when I want to make sure that everybody understands that the key goals of the course, and it's free, homeownership pre-planning and much, much more, it is to help you, to educate you, to empower you, and to guide you and to support you through your walk of homeownership. And so what I always do is recommend that you book with me a time that we can have a virtual homeownership planning meeting. Homeownership planning meeting. And in that meeting, what I will do is do an overall assessment of where you are right now, where your goals are for purchasing, type of property that you want to purchase. We'll take a look at your credit report, take a look at your income. We'll go over your debt to income ratio. And incidentally, if you guys are interested in understanding how to calculate your debt to income ratio and you have your book, so in order to really benefit from what I'm teaching in this course, homeownership pre-planning and much, much more, you want to get your book, Amazon.com. Just go to Amazon.com, look up Jacqueline Battle. You'll see all of the books that I've written here. This one is homeownership pre-planning and much, much more. And in this book, it's the curriculum that we use for this free course to help you plan and pre-plan for purchasing real estate. And it's huge. It's a vast amount of information that we cover as we're here. If you want to purchase property and you just don't see how you can get from where you are now to where you want to be, or you already own real estate, you want to increase your real estate holdings, and you're not quite sure how to make that happen without overextending yourself, or if you are interested in selling, listing your property, and you want a hassle-free experience, call me. If you're interested in listing your real estate for sale and you want a hassle-free experience, call me. I'm Jacqueline Battle, National Land Realty. So let's get into this book. If you want to know how to calculate your debt to income ratio so that you see, the key is to know really where you are before you get with the mortgage company. And so what I do is I teach you how to know where you are so that you can best position yourself. So that when you get in front of the mortgage lender, they're either going to give you more of a plan to enhance your journey, or they're going to let you know that you already qualified, and they'll let you know the amount that you need to qualify, or the amount that you do qualify. Okay. So if you want to determine your debt to income ratio, go with me to page 71 in this book, Homeownership, Pre-Planning, and much, much more. Here, what you'll find is a way for you to determine your debt to income ratio. So as an example, what you want to do is you want to calculate all of your monthly expenditure, all of your monthly debts that are listed on your credit report, all of your monthly expenditures. Because the way that they determine your debt to income ratio is based on the information that's listed on your credit report. Okay, so once you calculated the total of your monthly debts that you are paying each month, then you want to divide that into your monthly income. That's going to give you your debt to income ratio. Now, there's a part in this book that helps you to calculate your proposed monthly payment. You may just be out looking at properties, and you may want to know, okay, well, I wonder how much this monthly payment would be. Well, if you want to determine what your monthly payment will be, there's a section in the book that helps you get a general idea of what your monthly mortgage payment will be. And that's on page 16 of this book, Homeownership, Pre-Planning, and much, much more. There's a formula there, and then there's an in-depth synopsis as to what you do to determine what or to pre-calculate what your monthly payment will be. And as you're estimating what your monthly payment will be, then you go back with your debt to income ratio and you add that monthly payment to all of the list of debts that you have currently. And then you divide that into your monthly income. That's going to give you a general idea of what your debt to income ratio is. Now, if you really want to get very specific, then you can get a general idea of what your homeowner's insurance and property taxes will be on a monthly basis and add that. And that will give you your debt to income ratio, what they call your back end debt to income ratio. Okay, why do you want to know that? Because different lenders have different requirements as it pertains to your debt to income ratio. So if you're interested in understanding how to determine that, and again, in this book from page 71 to page 73, it explains from page 71 to page 74, it explains to you how to calculate your debt to income ratio. And then right after that in the book, on pages 75 all the way through to page 83, you get a general idea of the underwriting guidelines for a specific type of loans. Like if it's a VA guaranteed loan, it tells you the current underwriting guideline for the debt to income ratio for that type of loan. Then on page 76, it gives you a general idea of the underwriting guidelines for FHA guaranteed loans in terms of the debt to income ratio front and back. It also gives on the next page conventional guidelines, the next page hard money guidelines. And then on page 79 and page 80, it gives specific details regarding underwriting guidelines for FHA guaranteed loans or VA guaranteed loans. Okay, and then as you go further into this book, Homeownership, Pre-Planning, and much, much more, you get an explanation as to the requirements that's necessary for them to be able to count commissions. You may be a person that works and you get paid by commission, or you may get paid salary and commission. And sometimes they'll count your salary, but they won't count your commissions. So in order for your commissions to qualify to be counted in your income, there are certain guidelines and pages starting on page 81 through page, I think is, all the way through page 93, you get an idea of what the underwriting guidelines are to be able to process and count your commissions, or how what the guidelines are to count self-employment income. Incidentally, I want to say to you, when you go to Amazon.com and you search my name, Jacqueline Battle, or any books that are written by me, if you want to be certain that I'm the Jacqueline Battle that wrote the book, you're always going to see on my books a picture of me, either on the front cover or on the back. That lets you know, and you should see about 4 or 5, maybe 6 books that are there. A few of them haven't been released yet, so I don't know if they're going to show up on there. Books that I've written. But this book, Homeownership, Pre-Planning, and much, much more, is a essential, whether you currently own property or you're interested in purchasing property. If you're currently own property, there are just a multitude, a reservoir of helpful tools that you can use to help manage your loan, to pay it off earlier, just to benefit in various ways. With the paying of your mortgage loan. That's if you currently own property, or to prepare yourself to purchase even more property. This book is essential. Okay, so when we talk about understanding the importance of pre-planning when you're looking at home ownership or real estate investment, one of the essential points is that you want to set realistic goals. And so you want to set realistic goals so that you feel confident that you can fulfill those goals. And so when you set those goals, pre-planning is crucial. So let me tell you why, because I've seen so many times people that purchase property and they're like, the Lord makes a way and he does. But when I'm talking to them about pre-planning, about setting up goals, they're so excited about getting into the property that they're not thinking about that there's life after the property. So what happens? What do I do? They're just thinking, I work, I pay my bills, I pay my mortgage, and I keep going. But there's so many other ways that you can strategically set yourself up to profit and to pay off your property sooner, thus paying less interest. There are answers in this book for foreclosure help. You may get in mortgage trouble. You're talking about paying for your loan for a long time. You may get into trouble. I pray that you don't. But if you do, there are answers. There are answers as to how you can be assisted if you get into trouble and financial trouble and you are facing foreclosure issues. Well, if you pre-plan, if you take that time to set up a consultation with me so we can do the homeownership pre-planning, I give you a list of ways and provisions that are available to you if you get in situations where foreclosure is in a possibility. It doesn't just include bankruptcy. There are other ways that you can stave off, and there are also grants that you can use to help stave off foreclosure. So all of that type of stuff is in the course that I offer, and that's homeownership, pre-planning, and much, much more. And when you set up a time for us to have a virtual free consultation, I walk you through all of that. So I stick with my customers pre and post closing. I'm always available to them for information that they may need to help benefit them throughout the journey. Okay. So pre-planning is very, very important. And when you look at the overview of the course that I'm talking about, homeownership, pre-planning, and much, much more, is really graduate to becoming a landowner. It's the steps that you take to get you to that place, or to become a real estate investor, or to increase the level of your investment pipeline. So you're already investing in real estate, but you need to understand how to increase your investment pipeline. I teach you that as well, because I've had successful experience in that area, but not just with me, but with others with whom I've had the opportunity to be able to consult with and to teach. So again, the course goal for this free course, homeownership, pre-planning, and much, much more, is to educate, to provide comprehensive information on homeownership and the process and include financial preparation, market analysis, strategic planning, so that you have a timeline on what it is you want to do. You know exactly, you have a vision of exactly what it is that you want to do. We've got that inscribed, you've got it written, and we're walking it out step by step because we create a plan specific for you. We want to empower you, and that way we're equipping you with the skills to set and achieve realistic goals, to observe and overcome obstacles, to make informed decisions about what it is that you're looking at or that may possibly arise. We want to guide you. So we offer practical advice and actionable steps to help individuals purchase real estate for investment, for their own personal use, or to increase their real estate holdings. And lastly, we want to support by creating a supportive community where individuals can share experiences and ask questions. So if you consult with me and we sit down and we establish a virtual meeting, a virtual homeownership planning meeting, then during that time, you can request, well, who are some of the other people that you help? Is there a way that I can talk to them? We have a whole community, and they will be more than willing to share with you some of the experiences that they had. We actually have times that we establish to get together in a meeting with all of us, or a variation of us together, and they're there to help you answer the questions. They're members of the community of homeownership planning meetings that I've had with them over the years, and they purchase properties successfully for investment purposes or either for their home. And they're there to help you through some of those things that you can experience that no one may have mentioned to you. Okay, so when you book with me, the homeownership pre-planning meeting, there's variation of things that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about, again, your financial planning so that you understand your current financial situation, your current credit information, you understand your income, your savings, and how to get to the goals that you want to reach. We're not talking about an extremely long-term goal. We're talking about setting up goals that can align with your current financial capabilities and get you into the type of property that you're interested in getting in. We do the same thing on the flip side for those of you who are interested in selling your real estate. It is the very same process. We help to educate you, to empower you, to help guide you and support you. It's hassle-free. Call me. Okay. So we also help to prepare a market analysis for those who want to purchase property, as well as those who may be interested in listing their property. And then we talk about each individual's personal circumstance. So I have worked with customers who want to sell their property, but there have been some title issues. Well, because I'm also a licensed title insurance agent, and I am very capable and have been practicing for the past 40 plus years, title research, abstracting title insurance commitments, and insuring the title against claims that may come up involving prior certain clouds or situations that may be on the title. And we walk through all of that to help you make your title marketable. So when you get ready to close, you're not concerned about title issues if you're selling your property, because when I list your property, I walk you through all of that. I do an assessment of the title. I go through all of that because things can happen these days that you weren't even aware of. Something simple as you having paid off a mortgage decades ago, but for some reason the mortgage was not released from the title, and now that company's gone out of business. Well, see, the way that title history works, that is still encumbering your title. So before you can sell it, we have to clear that up. I walk you through getting all of that done and taken care of. You might not even know it. You're like, well, I paid that off. I paid that off years ago. No, that's paid off. That's not, it's paid off. But what you're not understanding is if they didn't release that mortgage, if they didn't record a cancellation, and now they're going out of business, it's not just a matter of, oh, well, they're going out of business. That doesn't count. It does count until we can set things up to create an exception for that particular item that is showing as an encumbrance on your title so that we can pass it on as marketable to the new purchaser. Items that you wouldn't be aware of as a seller. So either way, we help you as a purchaser or as a seller in ways that are extremely vital that you may not be aware of. So when we talk about using the SWOT analysis for those who are interested in purchasing property, what we want to do is we want to set goals. But before we can set the SMART goals, we have to analyze where we are. So it involves taking a look and identifying the strengths that you have, the weaknesses that you have, the opportunities that are available to you, and certain threats to those opportunities. So while SMART goals are something that we use to help you approach and reach your goal, before we can get there, we do a SWOT analysis. So whether you're meeting with me in a consultation as a seller because you want to list your property, or you're meeting with me as a purchaser and we're setting up home ownership plan specifically for you, we use this SWOT analysis to get you from where you are, to determine where you are, and then go in and establish SMART goals with a timeline to help you reach where you want to reach. I don't know if you guys watched here with us some weeks ago. Abby Safront was here with us. Now, Abby is a procurement specialist. So what I mean by that is she is the owner of, a partner of A&L B2G company. And they're a B2G strategist company, which means that they help businesses to market to as vendors to the government, to do business with the government. On a local level, that would be city, county, on a local municipality, as well as on a higher level. That is what they specialize in. And so she came on as a guest to talk to us about how we were able 2 years ago be beneficial. I think she said 8 years ago, be beneficial in helping her in establishing one of her corporations. And the way that we did that is through a curriculum, easy corporate comprehensive curriculum for new business owners. Now, at that time, it wasn't packaged in this book, but we had an entire curriculum that we taught her. And she was able to establish her business. And that particular business that she established 8 years ago is still in operation, actually doing extremely well. Not only that, she talked about how the training that she received helped her to purchase real estate through her company name based on her corporate financial standing and credit standing. And that's what we teach here. So a lot of people find themselves gridlocked. Okay, so you purchase your home, but you want to get into real estate investment. You want to buy some land. You want to cultivate some land for agriculture on a larger basis, or you want to purchase some land so you can lease it out to solar companies, to energy companies, to agricultural companies, to other companies, so that they are paying you a monthly rate to lease your property from you on a long-term basis, so that you now have revenue coming in that's non-performance revenue, and you're going to have it coming in for the next 10, 15 years because of that long-term lease that you entered. And all you did was purchase some land. Yeah, yeah. And so we teach you how to incorporate. If you're not already a corporation, but you're in business, but you've never incorporated, we teach you the entire course. And by the time you get to the midsection of this course, you've already incorporated, we've ordered your corporate seal, you've got your corporate kit, we're setting you up with venture capitalists so that you understand how to purchase real estate. We've set you up with your general ledger. We've taught you how to prepare your own financial statements. So when you pass it on to your bookkeeper and they pass it on to the CPA to get the audits, you know how to do all of that. You know how to set up your financial statement. You understand what you're looking at. Understand the type of stock that you're going to use to establish your corporation, how to raise capital with that stock, whether or not, how many shares you're going to issue, the price of the shares, par, non-par, as your base point. All of that we teach you. All of that in this course, so that when you walk away from this course, you're fully incorporated and probably have already gotten involved with purchasing property through your corporate entity. We teach you how to establish a separate entity so that everything that's hindering you from qualifying or limiting you from purchasing property or multiple properties will not limit your corporation. Everything that you're not, we build into your corporation. Okay. So this course is a paid course. You can either participate in the course as an individual or a part of a group. But anyway, Abby came on to talk about how we helped her build, establish her corporation back then, and how it still exists. But she's she has become very diverse because she's added other corporations and other companies as she branches out. Well, weeks before that, we had someone from Lower Alabama. Her name is Wilma Dixon. She came on to talk about how we helped her set up her corporation, how to build her corporation, and how she was able to. That was like she said, 2007, and she's still operating that company, and she has now extended herself and built a larger branch. She's since then got her realtor's license in Alabama and Georgia. She's purchased more real estate. See, this is what we want to teach you, how to remove the limitations. There are underwriting limitations on individuals, but we show you how to increase your potential. And we do that on an individual basis, firstly, with this course, homeownership pre-planning, and much, much more. And when we sit down with you, if you decide to book a consultation, we sit down with you and we evaluate where you are and where you want to be. And we establish a plan to get you there. We use the SWOT analysis to determine where you are. And then we use the SMART goals to help you determine measurable, actionable processes that you can go through step by step. As we're meeting, so we meet every week with this, every week until we get you into your property. Okay. In addition to that, if you want to create a separate entity that doesn't have the limitations that you may have as an individual, we teach a private course. It's a requires a fee. It's a paying course, but you only pay for the curriculum that you need, and you don't prepay for it. You only pay for it at the time of the course, so that you haven't lost any money. If this week we're going to be teaching on preferred stock versus common stock, and you don't want that, you don't have to attend that course. We can move on to the next part of the module in the curriculum that you're interested in. You pay for it at the time that the curriculum is scheduled, and you go forward. This helps you to build a separate entity so that you can purchase real estate and other large ticket items. But I've got my realtor's hat on today, so I'm talking real estate. Helps you to purchase real estate on a large scale or on the scale that you set up for yourself. Okay, so both of these books are available. These are the manuals that we use in those two courses. And you can pick both of them up, Amazon.com. Google my name, Jacqueline Battle, they'll come up. Or you can go to Amazon.com, search my name, and those two manuals will come up for the courses that we teach. So after we've taken a look at your strengths and we identified your financial strengths and market knowledge and set up your networking capabilities, we take a look at your weaknesses, whether it be in income limitations or credit limitations or lack of experience. We take a look at the opportunities that are available in terms of market trends and government programs that are available to you for down payment assistance, and also private programs that are available to help assist with closing costs. We take a look at whether or not you're interested in purchasing property as a corporate entity. All of those are opportunities. Then we take a look at different threats that are available. We assess the threats such as market volatility or interest rates or other items that are there that could potentially be a threat for the plan that you have. We use all of that to help establish SMART goals. So we want to establish specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals to help get you into that real estate that you want to purchase. Whether you're going to need to establish a corporate entity to get there, or whether we're going to use your personal resources to get you there, whether or not you already have a company and you need to be shown how to hire yourself as an employee to substantiate your revenue and your income. We show you how to do all of that, because some people have companies and they're making quite a bit of income, but when it goes to go through underwriting, there's no way to substantiate the amount of resources that they have financially that will make them viable. We teach you how to do that as we set up your SMART goals. So specifically, we're defining a specific goals. Like, what do you want to purchase? What type of property? Um, 5 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, rental property, or property for you to occupy. How long do you want to take to purchase it? Within the next 12 months, 5 months, 6 months, 3 months, 2 months. Then we set up the measurability so that we can establish the criteria to measure your progress. So, like for instance, you know you're going to need at least $20,000 down. All right. So in this book, Homeownership, Pre-Planning, and much, much more, it shows you how to calculate compound interest. It also gives you a list of different accounts that actually pay compound interest. So if you go to page 62 in the Homeownership, Pre-Planning, and much, much more manual, from page 62 to page 70, it's explaining to you the type of accounts that pay compound interest and how you can utilize them. It also explains to you how to understand the amount that you want to deposit initially and how to determine how that money is going to grow. There's a formula in here that explains it to you, and then it gives you detailed information as to how you determine that. And that's on page 62 through page 70 in Homeownership, Pre-Planning, and much, much more. So if you need to save $20,000, you go there to, in this book, it will show you how to make your initial deposit and how that money is going to be compounded as you're continually making those deposits. So you know generally an idea of how long it will take you if you have to save the down payment. Remember, we also talk about down payment assistance that's available to you through different entities. Okay, so in looking at the SMART goals, as we take a look at the specific and measurable goals, we also look at the achievable goals. We want to set achievable goals. We want to set something that's realistic and attainable, such as, okay, we want to improve our credit score by 50 points or about a certain amount of points. And so we talk about ways that you can do that you can build your credit, that you can pay down certain accounts. You don't pay it off, but pay down certain accounts to increase the amount of points that are available to you in terms of your credit report. Those are things that we talk about, and we make them attainable goals. And then we want to look at the relevancy. So this way we can ensure that your goals are aligning with your long-term objectives. Like if you want to invest in real estate for passive income, you're to a point now where, okay, now what I'm looking for is land that I can invest in. And incidentally, we talk about this all the time. Being a land professional with National Land Realty, I have seen people purchase real estate and then immediately repurpose it and put it back on the market and make a substantial profit. See, with land, you don't have to make any necessary improvements. If you purchase a home, which is still an excellent way to invest in real estate, it's an excellent way. But if you purchase a home or a piece of property that has a improvement on it, whether it be an office building, some other type of structure, there may be a possibility that you may have to make some improvements or some modifications in order to list the property for sale after you purchased it to get your gain out of it. That's a possibility. But with land, you don't need to make any modifications. You don't need to make any improvements to the property. You simply repurpose it and sell it. You stand to make a substantial amount more because you've repurposed it and you're selling it. People that I sold it to, they repurposed the land, they subdivided it into lots, and they began to break that thing down and sell it in lots, which caused them to substantially increase their profit. I've also experienced people purchasing land that really had no purpose, and then they listed it as agricultural property and sold it for a substantial amount. So what we do is we help you to establish long-term goals that are relevant to what it is that you're doing. We set up goals that are going to align with whatever your purpose is. I just used investment purposes to establish passive income as an example. And then lastly, as we're looking at those SMART goals, and we've already established specific, measurable, achievable, and relevant goals. Now we want to look at time-bound goals. We set a time frame for achieving goals. Yeah, we set a time frame for you achieving your goals. That part's really important because you'll keep saying, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, and it'll never happen. You know yourself that that's happened to you in the past. It can easily happen. What we do is we help you set up a time frame to achieve those goals, to acquire your property. Well, I want to acquire this property or this type of property by the end of the year. I want to acquire this type of property within 4 months or 3 months. So the very first thing you want to do, set up a virtual homeownership planning meeting with me. When you do that, we talk about your information specifically. It is free, and we're going to be using this manual to walk you through it. I admonish you. You need to go to Amazon.com. And I'm laughing because people are shocked when they find out how much information is in this book. I don't do a whole lot of talk. In this book, I go straight to the formulas that you need, depending on what your goals are. It's goal-oriented. It helps you spot where you are, determine what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, opportunities that are available, any threats to those opportunities, and then it begins to help you set up a specific, measurable, actionable plan. Not just that, it gives you the tools to walk through every plan strategically and in a timely manner before you purchase the property and after you purchase the property. You cannot lose with the stuff that this book uses. You don't believe me? Go to Amazon.com. Don't even worry about buying the paperback. Buy the $9 ebook and go through it yourself. I guarantee you, you're going to want to order the hard copy so that you can make your notes and you can mark up the way that you need to. And one of the most substantial things that you'll find in this book is a list of non-qualifying mortgage lenders who have flexible underwriting guidelines. And you'll find those in the back of this book. But there's a wealth of information here that can help you. You just got to get started. And the very first step is order the book. Another step, reach out to me so we can sit down with your specific information. Confidential, virtual, homeownership planning meeting. And we can walk out the goals that you've got established and get you to where you want to be in terms of purchasing real estate or selling your real estate. This is an excellent time to sell your real estate. You may be interested in upsizing or downsizing. You may have something going on financially, and it's an excellent time to go ahead and list your property and sell it. You may be in trouble and you need to sell your real estate. I'm here for that. There are also grants and benefits that are available if you get into financial trouble and trying to pay your mortgage. I am here to be your assistant in all of those areas. I'm Jacqueline Battle with National Land Realty. My broker is Jonathan Berryhill in Huntsville, Alabama. We're here to help. That's our goal. We all work together as a team to ensure that you reach your homeownership goals. If you need to list your property and sell it, we're land professionals. We're here to help you get that done. If you're interested in becoming a landowner or a homeowner, for whatever purpose, we can walk that plan out, get you right into your property, right in. Or based on your timeline. Our goal is to help you to have a clear roadmap to achieve your real estate acquisition goals, whatever they may be. So we help to ensure that your efforts are focused and effective every time you make a move. Do that, we help you set those goals and track your progress. And that's why we meet so often, because we're making sure that you're tracking your progress. so that your outcome is what you need it to be, and you got there in a efficient manner. I'm going to say it to you again. Pre-planning is essential. It's an essential component of successful homeownership. You can buy it without planning, but there's so many things that are involved that will peek around the corner after you've closed that you hadn't considered. That's why we have these two books. These two books to help you walk through the process. This book helps you before and after. This book helps you if you need an alternative path to get there, to grow beyond the limitation. Easy corporate comprehensive curriculum for new business owners, homeownership pre-planning, and much, much more. Just go to Amazon.com, type in Jacqueline Battle, and you'll find all of these tools and even more there. Position. You guys have any questions, you can always feel free. I'm looking through the chat now. What are SMART goals? Would it help me? Well, I don't know if you asked this at the beginning before we actually got into the SMART goals, or if this was something that you asked during. But what the SMART goals help you do after you determine where you are is set clear, specific goals as to what you want in terms of real estate. Help you measure how to get there. What am I going to need? Do I need money for closing? Do I need money for down payment? How much do I need? It helps you get to that point. And then it shows you a plan using these tools of how not just to measure, but to actually follow through with your measurable plan. It helps you achieve the goals that you need to either improve your income position or your credit score, or whatever may be limiting you from being able to purchase the type of real estate that you want to purchase. Also, it will help you make sure that whatever the objective is relevant what your goals are. And then it places a time frame. So that acronym SMART, it represents specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goal. I'm hoping that answered the question for you. How do I? So I'm going to put a link here in the chat for you if you're interested in booking a consultation with me. And that link will, you can use it to reach out to me, because once you register, I will then send you a follow-up email asking you for a certain list of items that are going to be necessary for us to have in our meeting. And then you bring those items with you when you come to the homeownership pre-planning meeting, and those things will be available. If you're interested in the, okay, someone is asking about the corporate curriculum. I'm going to put the link in the comments on both the social media as well as in the chat. There is a group course that's offered if you're interested in the corporate curriculum, helping to build you and put you in a position to purchase real estate. There's a link there for the corporate curriculum as a group, and also as a curriculum that's taught as an individual. Of course, if you're on social media and you want consult, you can just direct message me, and I'll send you a link along with a list of documentation that be needed for us to establish goals during our meeting. All right. You are interested in that property that I posted earlier. I am going to put in the social media a link that directs you to that property so you can take a look at it. It's a beautiful piece of property. That is a investment opportunity that is second to none. And if you want more information on that, you can reach out to me. Before I leave, I am going to just pull it up really quick, show it to you again, make sure that everybody understands the benefits that are there. So with this being land that's on the market, it's not just a lot, an acre lot, but it is actually subdivided in the city's office into 6 different lots. This 1 acre parcel is subdivided in the city's office into 6 different lots. It's on a highly traveled corner. It's in an area that is being redefined. Some people call it gentrified. It's being redefined, which gives you an opportunity to get in there and build a very nice home for yourself, and also build other properties, other homes on those lots that you can now profit from. The wonderful, if you're a developer, this is excellent for you. If you want to get into real estate investment, this is a very good way for you to start small. I love Muskogee County as a very forward-thinking area. I wanted to show that to you. Now, thank you so much, guys, for hanging in there with me. All y'all that were on the Zoom with me, all y'all that were present on social media, Facebook, YouTube, thank you so much. You know what I'm going to say. I'm Jacqueline Battle, National Land Realty. Today, this very second, right now, this very moment, is the right time for you to call me for a hassle-free experience. Whether you want a hassle-free experience in listing and selling your property, or a hassle-free experience in purchasing real estate. You want hassle-free? Call me today.